So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
Tune in to the radio show. We are live and we are here to speak up as the Killing Time Band has asked. And you can catch us always here at lifestyleradio.ca, or you can find us at Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, as well as Shoutcast. We are live there as well. I'm your host, Al Graham. Today my joint host, Kim Cooper, has brought us a guest who I don't really know much about, but I'd say that him and his partner speak through the camera lens. But before we find out more, I'm going to have a quick chat with Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Not too bad, Al. How you doing tonight? How's everybody out in the radio land?
Oh, well, I'm doing better than I was a week or so ago. I can tell you.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I know you've been battling an issue for the last little while, since right around the Karma Cup.
Yeah. Just previous to that, I was starting a Crohn's flare-up, so battled through her. No, it's been a while, but I remembered what happened years ago, and I think I've got her under control. Just some final things to deal with. That's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's on the road to recovery.
Correct. Okay. Before we bring in our news item, I just want to remind everybody that you got an opportunity to win some free stuff. All you've got to do is go to our website, pace-online.ca. Send us a message that you're looking for some free things. And if I get to multiple people, everybody's name goes into a hat, and I'll pull out a winner. And we'll send them some free items. Yeah. I just sent some stuff out today.
Excellent. Winners everywhere.
Yes.
Open anywhere.
All right.
Join us in our conversations and win.
In our news items, we got two things we want to discuss. And one of them was the Parliamentary Budget Officer's report and predictions on what's going to happen with cannabis legalization.
Yeah, that's quite the document, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And, he talks about it not being a big windfall. Tax reports estimate only like $618 million.
Yeah, only. That's all. Just $618 million. That's all.
Well, I'm sure many of us are thinking billions.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure it will be. I mean, I don't know how they came up with these estimates, but I mean, the population of Canada that's going to be consuming this plant is going to be well beyond the population that's consuming it in Colorado, and their numbers are higher than ours are nationwide.
They expect about 5.5 million people will be consuming, not right away, but shortly after there's legalization. I can tell you they got average price charts here too that they're estimating. In the Northwest Territories, they're looking at about $14 a gram, where in the lowest place would be, they're predicting, is Quebec at $7.30 a gram.
Yeah, high prices in my view.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, the legalization and the freedom of being able to grow this plant medicinally, I don't know what they'll do on the rec side of it, but I'm sure there'll be something in place that should be driving the price down, not up.
No, exactly. There was another article that was out that was talking about personal growing. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I can tell you our sponsor, CC Nexus, they're quoted in there. Brandon May, who was the guest on a previous show, he's in there talking about the seed sale end of it all.
Right on. Well, we'll have to pull that up and get to it at a later time in our show for sure. That's always nice to see some of our sponsors making it into the news feeds.
That's right, exactly. Now, they also say, they mentioned, where's all this money going to go that the government raises? they expect 60% of that tax revenue will go to the provincial government. 40% will remain, I guess, in the federal government.
It provincially and even locally, municipality-wise, municipal governments want their fair share.
Right.
Everybody's clawing and everybody's canvassing, as far locally as my little area over here in Northern Ontario and our town of Kapuskasing. The mayor there was part of a mayor's coalition that got together to try and come up with some ideas on how to approach this situation with the provincial government and find out what their fair share of this whole new economic market is going to be. So it affects everybody.
It does. I know the provincial governments have been forming like little forces or committees to come up with ideas. They're waiting for some direction still from the federal government. And I can see the municipal governments having the same thing where they're waiting on those type of directives from the provincial end.
Yeah, absolutely. They're meeting everywhere.
And the last thing I want to mention is the PBO is predicting legal sales January of 2018.
Yeah, 2018. That's the date that I heard. Early 2018.
So another year, another 14 months before any legal cannabis would be sold through this new regime, I guess you would call it, right? Yeah. Some people call it prohibition. Some people call it prohibition too.
Yeah, 2.0.
So, okay, and we have one other news item that we wanted to bring up, and I haven't got that in front of me right now, but that's not a problem because I did read the article, and that has to do with a recall. Yeah,
Metrum. One of the LPs in Canada, legal producer Metrum, has had a recall on one of their major products. And the disturbing thing is this is a product that is often used with children as well.
Yes, yeah. Now, it seems to be what it was a chemical called platinum.
Yeah, and that's the troubling part. It's not a recall. The other LPs have had recalls in the past because of inaccurate counts on THC. They'll list it at 18%. Health Canada does their testing and it comes back at 15%. So they issue a recall on that product. Well, of course, nobody is returning the product because of a 3% variance or a 3-point variance. It's just not going to happen. Everybody just kind of laughs it off. This isn't a laugh-off situation. We're talking about a chemical that's been added into this product that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, they actually mentioned that they're doing the recall, but there's no harm to the patient whatsoever. So, like, what if there's no harm? I guess maybe they're trying to say that, hey, they say it was a third-party product from a third-party company or something, and this platinum was mixed in with that, and they didn't realize it. And yeah, I know myself. I don't use any sprays on my buds, and I wouldn't want any used on the ones I consume either.
Yeah, and
I know the government does have 7 or 8 sprays that they're allowed to use.
Yeah, and in these industrial size grow ops, they claim that these are needed. I've never had to grow an industrial size grow op before, so I don't really know for sure. People say that they're needed because there's so many plants. There's more, disease and problematic and all of this with temperature and mold and stuff. So okay, fine, but doesn't that just feed to the right to grow? This is exactly why patients have to be in charge and should take control of their own medicinal needs. It's a very easy plant to grow yourself at home. You can grow it organically, and then you know exactly what you're consuming.
I've received that article that we were discussing that involves CC Nexus, and it mentions in here Colorado 6 plants per person. Some places allow up to 12 plants, it says. Yeah. So, and Brandon was going on about the different kinds of strains and how they're sold for souvenir purposes and that. So, it's good to see, like you mentioned, it's good to see our sponsors involved in some of the news out there.
It is. It's awesome. And I find it ironic that they quote up to 12 plants under the terms of the medicinal laws right now. If you have a prescription, if you say you only have a 2 gram a day limit, that means you can grow 10. So they're saying that Rex can grow more than a medicinal user at this current point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
with a 12
plant
with a 12 plant or a 12 plant maximum. So that's, I mean, if you had a prescription for 1 gram a day, you're only allowed to grow 5 plants. You know, recreational would be allowed to grow more than a medicinal user. That's
that wouldn't be very fair.
Yeah, that's kind of
all right. Well, okay. Well, there we go. Lots of news. And what do you think? Time to bring in our guests? Yeah?
It is. I think that'd be great.
Okay. Well, at this time, I'd like to welcome our guests, and that is Shawn Drew to the Pace Radio Show. How are you doing, Shawn?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much, Al. It's a pleasure to be here on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Just to let everybody know, Shawn is involved with Chronic Canvas, and we will find out all kinds of information about that as the night goes on. Yes, we will. Okay, Kim, I've got a bunch of questions written down. I'm sure you've got some written down there. So I'll let you get started. And as always, I'll just follow along.
Thanks very much, Al. I look forward to your insight as always. Shawn Drew, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. We had the very great pleasure of meeting you at the Karma Cup just this past week and viewed your work, where all three, both Al's and myself, all three of us were kind of blown away by the graphic art that you do. For those that can't see, I'm going to give a short description. That's basically Shawn poses different cannabis buds as well as forms of extract in various poses, along with insects and different props, along with vapor smoke, and creates the most wonderful photographs and then publishes them on canvas. So they display as almost as a painting. They are amazing creations, and I welcome you to the Pace Radio Show.
Wow. Well, thank you. What an introduction. Honestly, Karma Cup, what a special event that was. I do have to thank everybody at that event for making us a part of it. It was our first cannabis event that we attended. And we really felt the love from the community. But yeah, I mean, Chronic Canvas, this is actually a company that's run by me and my girlfriend, Roxana. We're based out of Windsor here. And I guess to really tell the whole story of how it started, I guess if I had to make it brief, truly.
We got 90 minutes. Go right ahead.
All right.
No need to be brief.
Okay. All right, here we go. So, I mean, honestly, what does cannabis mean to me? Just to tell you about my current state right now, I'm in the application process for my ACMPR. I mean, I'm not going to delve too much into what a hassle that's been thus far, but I am optimistic that it should be in the mail within the next couple of weeks or so. So thankful that our government has actually granted us access as patients to grow our own medicine at home. Little unfortunate about hearing about the price of the seedlings at $750 for 5. I don't want to digress too much into that, because you know what, this is all forward progress, and as a patient, I can say that cannabis has helped me over the last 6 months completely rid my body of Cipralex. I was prescribed that by my doctor about two and a half years ago. I was on it for about a year and a half, and to battle with some pretty severe depression and anxiety. I had a lot of aggression issues that, quite frankly, I didn't have properly diagnosed by my family physician. The more that I've learned about what's happened to me, I've recognized that it's been a form of PTSD that I've been struggling with, and I'll tell you, I started using cannabis when I was 16 years old, and most people wouldn't believe it, but I actually smoked a joint before I ever drank a beer in my life. It was actually at the Rockton Fair in Dundas. I grew up in Dundas, Ontario, and my buddies offered me that, and it was like, wow, what a crazy experience! The first time I ever tried it, and ever since then, I always hid my use. I'd say it wasn't too frequent because I always looked at it as an illicit substance. Oddly enough, alcohol was more readily accepted for me to use, even by my family, than even the discussion of something like cannabis. Because of its status legally, and so I never looked at it as a medicine. I think that I grew up in a genre where movies like Half Baked and Cheech and Chong and really representing a really poor stereotype of what a cannabis consumer truly is, and I'm not taking anything away from the comedy of it, and I love those movies, but the thing about it is that I never looked at it as a real medicine. So really,
well, we've come a long way, eh?
No, truly, So it's it really is an awesome thing to see where this has come, and not until honestly 2015 is when I can say that I probably hit a pharmaceutical style of rock bottom where my aggression issues started to get even more severe than I've ever noticed. Things started to really spiral downwards for me, and things were I literally lost sensation across my body. Like, I didn't have peripheral sensation any longer. The side effects that I had were severe, and something had to happen. And oddly enough, just through friends of friends that knew people that had cannabis prescriptions, I finally took it seriously, and I actually located probably the best doctor. I have to do a shout out to him. His name's Dr. Adam Norris out of the Green Dot Medical Center. They're in Brantford, Ontario. I'll tell you, the day that I met him was the day that things changed, because I finally got my prescription. I actually came out to my family and told them that, I have a cannabis prescription to deal with my aggression issues. I was still currently taking Cipralex at the time, but because I didn't have the confidence. I just got my prescription, and I went into these dispensaries in Toronto. I was blown away. I didn't even know the difference between an indica and a sativa. I've never even heard of CBD before. I've never seen shatter before. I didn't know anything beyond anything, yet amongst my group of friends, I was probably known as the most chronic stoner of the group. You find that that's still a problem today, I think, though, is that sometimes you can get the prescription, but then what do you do with it? Yeah, and right out of the gates, because once you get your prescription, there's a waiting process before the LPs approve that. So that's where a real big issue comes in with the dispensaries and that Project Claudia that was happening, because during those times, right when you get your prescription, I needed access to cannabis. So I went to these dispensaries, and the whole new world opened up to me. And I was talking to the employees there that were extremely educated down in Kensington Market, and they just took the time to explain to me how people are using different strains and why you'd use different strains. And what's really interesting is, somebody that battles from anger issues, I actually have recognized that indicas are truly a stronger benefit to me than things like a sativa that sometimes get me a little more riled up, a little more anxious. So it's unbelievable, and not understanding how CBD worked. I mean, it's just a non-psychoactive compound that can actually bring your high down a little bit if you ever did too much. I mean, where's this information coming from? I'll tell you where I learned it. Was after I started learning about all these different strains and cannabinoids and terpenes. I found a group out of the States called Green Flower Media. That's the name of them. Green Flower Media.
Green Flower Media. Awesome outlet for information.
These guys hosted I think it was January of this year, the first Cannabis Health Summit. And holy man, it is worth every penny I spent. They had, I think, over 80 doctors and scientists talking about the real science behind cannabis medicine. I learned about guys like Dr. Raphael Mechoulam over in Israel that really started and discovered the THC molecule. I mean, all these pioneers that I don't think people really know about. And it really inspired me. I mean, I'm a human kinetics major from the University of Guelph, and education and learning about what I'm talking about has always been extremely important, but I never knew the world of information that's out there now. And ever since that, like I said, I educated myself, and it took those efforts, and because I need to be able to speak about this. And as I was, go ahead.
And it inspired you.
It really did, because in that talk, there was actually a specific talk, I believe it was by Brian Crum, that was talking about veterans and PTSD, and he was talking about the use of cannabis towards it, and it started to legitimize the fact that it's very possible that I might be able to use cannabis to wean myself off of the Ciprolex. And, without Roxanna, honestly, like, all credit to her, like, she truly is the love of my life. And sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, guys. It's just
hugging the girl.
Maybe should we go for a break?
No. You know what? I got this.
Break time. I'll let you finish the story, and then we'll go for break.
I got this, guys. But you know what? Ever since that moment, I got myself off the pills. It took me a long time, and for months, I'm telling you, I was getting electrical shocks going from my eyes all the way through my body. It was probably around April, May of this year. I'm still battling with some of the side effects of getting off that, and I've been completely off it for probably 4 months. I'd have to say that it's. I'm upset at what our medical doctors are doing to our friends and our family. I mean, I don't think that there is enough recognition of what this drug does, and that's really the basis of where this root came from. And you know what? Let's definitely take a little break, and I'd love to restart on where Chronic Canvas came from and turn this into a positive conversation.
We'll do that then.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay, break time is we're going to hear some music by Ill Scarlet, and we're going to hear the song 1A. And when we return, Kim and I will continue our talk with our guest, Shawn Drew. This is the Pace Radio Show here at lifestyleradio.ca. Shawn Drew, this is the Pace Radio.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Hey, everybody, we're going to Neil's party. Got you a drink in the hand. One is the place to have some fun. Got you a split in the other hand. We to the top of the ring bed, rocking until the morning light. One is the place to feel alright. I said,
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet, www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
This is Al Graham of the Pace Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the Pace Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
All I know, there's no place like it, and if you like it, then I might suggest you come around again. And I'm so stoned, all the music that's around.
Welcome back to the Pace Radio Show. We are live, and we includes Shawn Drew of Chronic Canvas and my joint host, Kim Cooper, talking about live shows. I'd like to remind everyone that cannabis advocate Tamara Cartwright has a show right here on this network called Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. I got that out.
You got it.
And as I said, it's live, and it has one-on-one format between her and a guest. You can listen into her guests as they share their stories and their opinions on what's happening today. And you can catch her every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Time, which is her time, right here on lifestyleradio.ca. Tonight on the Pace Radio Show, we are joined, as I mentioned, by our guest, Shawn Drew of Chronic Canvas, and my hard-working joint host, Kim Cooper.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Okay, before I hand you over to Kim, Shawn, I have a question for you. In one of the documentaries that I have seen quite often on cannabis, and that has to do with Jack Hare, he talks about the word canvas is cannabis, as far as the word, where the word canvas came from. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, you're gonna burn me.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly, I'd have to say I don't. I don't know the origin of the word canvas. The truly, it's just kind of a play on what it is that we're doing with our photography and placing it on canvas as artwork. But I love knowing the answers to questions, so I'm going to be looking this up as we're.
I think Al's going to give you some insight here and maybe a new twist for your name.
Exactly. What you can do with all that. Like for marketing too, as well.
Please enlighten me.
Yeah. Well, take a look. Check it out. Do a Google search, as they say, right?
Yeah.
No, you're not going to tell them. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Jack Hare talked about that in his documentary movie. Yeah. And it was good. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to hand you back over to Kim. I know that she's, we talked about your personal end of stuff in the first segment, and I'm sure we're going to get into the business end now.
Yes, we are. And welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our break and our sponsors. While we were on break there and enjoying some medication during the break, I know I was, at least. I'm sure everybody out there was as well. Shawn, welcome back. We all caught our breath.
Well, my lady saved me. My lady saved me. She came in with the answer that canvas is derived from hemp, or it's related to the word hemp.
That's right. That's originally the original canvas was made from hemp. That's correct.
You know what? Like I said, she's my better half, and honestly, that's.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you for that lesson.
Yeah. There you go. You got cannabis artwork on a product that the word is derived from its
origins.
What is it? Its origins, yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
There you go.
Holy crap.
There you go.
A new twist for your company. Chronic Canvas. There you go. So yes, anyways, where was I? Yes, Chronic Canvas. Chronic Canvas is what you have right now. You got your start in this a while back. with a thing called the Chronic Cafe. Now, from my notes, what I've dug up is it got started sometime around September 2015. And I love the hashtag that you used for that. And that was elevate your exposure. I think that's so cool.
Well, yeah, no, thank you. Actually, yeah, that's where my story is just about to continue. So thank you for leading that off perfectly. But yeah, no, like where the story really started for me, breaking into the cannabis industry is really interesting because during the time, I actually met Roxana during my previous employments, and she was a marketing girl. I was an outside sales guy, and we kind of had a hidden office romance. Well, up until the point that I got fired in about August of 2015. I had a run-in with the bosses. Don't need to get into all those details, but long story short, that they did let me go, and it wasn't the greatest fallout that could have happened. And during that process, they actually let Roxana go as well. So we were a couple that I just got my cannabis prescription like a month before that, just started learning about it. I found myself without a job. I felt responsible for truly having Roxana lose her job within a week of that. And I don't know what happened, but it was just something between us where we just looked at our lives, and I started looking at what is she incredible at, and she's a professional photographer. I mean, like she really is incredible what she does. She got into the country. She's a Cuban-born citizen, and she got into the country through her online stock photo portfolio, and so she has a history of being an incredible photographer. And I looked at her skill, and I looked at my skill as really truly wanting to be an outside educator of cannabis now, because I found myself without any other direction to go in. A big difficulty was adapting to the workplaces I found myself in, very aggressive sales organizations that I just couldn't adapt to the mentality that was being forced upon me. And we just said, you know what, let's do this. I went to the dispensaries. I got super lucky. One of my best buddies right now, his name's Rohan. I got to give him a huge shout out to. I just kept harassing him every time I went in to get my medicine, and I was like, man, I can take some awesome shots of your stuff, and let's go in and let's work together. And he gave me a shot, man. He invited me and Roxana to come down, and we took some photos at a Canada-wide dispensary, and it didn't take very long before they saw the photos, and then they actually had us running their Instagram accounts. I was doing the work for the Canada-wide Top Shelf and Canada-wide Kensington. It actually led me to do some photo work for Crop King Seeds, also Diamond Concentrates. And everything was booming. Honestly, me and Rox thought that we found it. Like, what we were going to do was going to do branding and photography for all these different dispensaries that were opening. And it seemed like an endless world of possibility. And then Project Claudia happened. And literally overnight, every single contract that we had evaporated. We were in a situation where, we had no idea what to do. Like all the dispensaries were being raided, all our friends were being arrested. I still have friends that are actually in the middle of facing criminal charges from the onset of that raid. And I really hope that he gets the help that he needs. Long story short is when I was going in those dispensaries previously, every time I went in, the walls were empty. I was like, I started talking to the dispensaries about printing our stuff and making posters maybe and doing some educational pieces in there. And then I just so from that, me and Roxana kind of patented the name and bought the business rights to Chronic Canvas, but we didn't think anything of it up until Project Claudia. And then when that happened, we lost all our contracts for our photography and our Instagram management. It really was tough. We thought things were rolling, and then we decided that that's the moment that we need to now take this message and print our stuff using our Chronic Canvas name and take this artwork to the next level. And that's really where the inspiration behind who we are as a company is.
Wow.
We want our artwork to actually resemble, people to be proud of their medicine. Ever since I got my prescription, I came out to my family about it. I no longer felt the shame that I've been carrying for 16 years or so of using it and thinking that I was abusing the drug. And I'll tell you, like, we just didn't know what to do. So boom, we just poured all our efforts and energy and kind of transformed our direction. Chronic Cafe is still available. Our website's still up. I mean, we're still posting more educational pieces on that website. Like that's where I really want to do things like terpene profiles and really start to educate the public towards, you know, the use of cannabis. But as a 2-person show right now, we're diving everything we can into this canvas because we just really think the message is clear that we do want to kill the stigma around this and get our artwork out there and accepted into a lot more public places, and people really start to recognize this as a healing plant.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it was a fantastic startup business, and really Project Claudia may have almost done you a favor by allowing you to see the evolution of your original business.
You know, absolutely. And on top of that, you know, in dealing and using cannabis to deal with the issues that I've been dealing with, let me tell you that I'm at a point now where I can say that all the tragedies and all the worst things that have ever happened to me and the injustices have put me in this spot today. And that is something to be thankful for. And
that's right. That's right. We have to try and find something in it that we can put back on them and say, well, you know what, your tactic didn't work, and in fact, it helped me. So thank you.
You took a negative and turned it into a positive.
That's right.
I truly wish though that I could say that with a lot more confidence, because as I said, you know, I have friends that are still under the threat of being thrown in prison over this.
Oh, and, it was a horrific thing.
It's still continuing, and it's still continuing, and that's the conversation that people aren't having loud enough, you know.
Yeah. All dispensaries and lounges are still definitely under attack across the country. There's no doubt about that. So basically, your Chronic Cafe evolved, and it evolved into Chronic Canvas.
Yes.
I like that you're branded as Canada's first cannabis art studio. Your goal is to bridge the gap between activism and prohibition by increasing awareness and acceptance of cannabis as a safe alternative to many traditional therapies. And you put these words, they really are works of art. Is the best way to describe them. And they're appropriate to display pretty much anywhere. I mean, and that's the whole idea, is to be able to have it so that it's integrated into all parts of our lives and it just becomes commonplace, and that will destigmatize it. That's correct. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because even our roots of getting our canvas accepted and into places to showcase, the first place that really gave us an opportunity was here in Windsor at Higher Limits. We made really good friends with John Lick. He's just an incredible owner down there. I love what they're doing. They were faced with a number of threats of closure. I'm just so happy to see that they're still open, and I really hope that the city recognizes that these places should be embraced. I mean, I can justify that, you know, alcohol has been the cause of all my issues. You know, every fight I've ever been in has been because I got wasted. You know, it's a horrible drug, whereas cannabis is a really friendly one, and I've never seen a bad thing happen at the dispensaries or at the vapor lounges ever. And so they gave me our first shot, and then after that, we broke into a few dispensaries that were later shut down again by Project Claudia. So I had them in about 3 different places that have all been raided. So it turned into quite a challenge to try to find space that people were looking that really I was doing it on consignment, and it was becoming quite a hassle to try to get my artwork back after places were being seized and robbed by the police. So that's when we started to develop our online store. But you know, we even tried to do local art shows, and I'll tell you, it's funny that our hashtag is Kill the Stigma, because the very first art show I tried to do here in Windsor was just it was an art walk and rock or something where any local artist can display their trinkets or whatever they're making, right? And I'll admit it was short notice, so I kind of wrote them, but they had space available. But I had an email where they wrote me and they said that based on your content, we don't think it's appropriate that you guys are there because of the children and families. And I wrote them back a pretty scolding email, making them aware of their ignorance and the fact that children use this product all over the place, and more of them. I mean, let's talk about epilepsy, and let's talk about children dealing with chemotherapy and the nausea. I mean, there's an endless list of I just that statement, and even just coming off Halloween, I mean, how many stories were coming out about kids gonna get THC candies? I mean, what the hell's going on? So
do they get alcohol candy? No, they don't.
No, and you know what? It's just absurd, because if they knew the price of it, why the hell am I going to spend $1,200 on some other people's kids to put them to sleep for 24 hours? It's just, none of it makes sense economically. None of it makes sense. Any arguments about it? I mean, so anyway, we even faced that. So, but what was really neat is that ever since that moment, we've been accepted to every art show. We started to do a lot more places. There was a Maiden Lane art walk that was here. We got accepted to. I can't remember the name of the other one, but we've done a few other like local art shows that are not cannabis centric, and that's going to really be a part of our mission as well. Typically we don't get, we don't make any sales at these things, but I'll tell you, they've started a lot of conversations. And
you start the conversation, and you're at a non-cannabis location.
That's right, and that is huge.
You're reaching out to people who don't expect to see you. It'd be like when I was doing those shows with Treating Yourself. You maybe you're not selling much now, but as people get to learn about you, and I think you'll be all right.
Well. Thank you. So like I said, it's not really said about the sales. I think that really, when you have a holistic message about spreading the word, and there is a lot that we want to do to actually give back to this community. Really, I am actively looking and seeking partnerships as well, because we are so new. I know that it is an initiative of mine to be donating a percentage of all of our.
1 minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
This is the veteran thing. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna put the brakes on you for a second, because that's going in a whole new direction that I'm gonna go to in a second. But I do have to go. We're on top of break time too, right?
Yeah, that's right. We'll do all that after break. So we're going to hear some more by Yale Scarlet with the song 1A. Then Kim and I will continue our talk here with Shawn Drew. This is the Pace Radio Show here at Lifestyle Radio. We're talk here with
hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
What you think we're doing all this time in the basement, mixing the reggae, the rock, and the ska punk, and don't know that all I want is what I got. Nothing else I require, nothing else here that I need. Where there's smoke don't mean there's fire, 'cause smoke here smells like weed, and I say all I want.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponics system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exempt MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
The National Task Force on Medicinal Cannabis is a group of not-for-profit organizations dedicated to influencing government policy with factual evidence. Our mission is to ensure that a constitutional medical program is developed that will address the concerns of all Canadians that require therapeutic cannabis. The task force is looking for dedicated people who are willing to contribute to our cause. We have formed this task force to foster a unified approach and focus on lobbying the federal government and Health Canada. We represent the combined expertise of thousands of patients with more than a decade of experience. As a task force participant, you, your business, or your group will have an opportunity to show that you care and offer your unique skills to promote the cause. If you would like to get involved, go to medcanataskforce.org. That's medcanataskforce.org and use the Contact Us link to get started. Help us help you.
Tune into the Pace Radio Show and catch Kim Cooper, Debbie Stoll-Skiffen, or Alison Merlin, along with myself, Al Graham, as we talk to Canadian and international cannabis advocates who are working hard to help patients and to end cannabis prohibition. Catch us live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at lifestyleradio.ca.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck Seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck Seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Like I've lost all sense of time, and I can't go home tonight. Leave it to the people that gotta know that when the people that come out with them about
We're back, and if you don't know who we are, we're the Pace Radio Show. Tonight, my bumper music, or our bumper music, was featured the Quebec-based band Ill Scarlet and their song 1A. The band has many cannabis songs, and we play a few of them here. So I recommend that you look them up on YouTube. Today on the show, we're joined by our guest, Shawn Drew of Chronic Canvas, and my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. All right, Kim and Shawn, I think probably during the break, we all agree that we want to get into a few different things here about the photos, and I'll just let Kim get going with questions, because I'm just going to spend my time looking at them.
They are beautiful. I know we were all indulging over the break there, looking at some of the gorgeous shots. I mean, just amazing. The poses, I mean, and the various insects that you use. We have to know about the poses. So you are the primary poser, is what we understand, that you're the one that comes up with concepts. Tell me about the insects that you use in some of these photos.
Well, they're definitely fan favorites. I'll tell you, the thing with the insects is sometimes it's just about being lucky. I mean, truly, the first thing that we ever did with an insect was one of our shots called Butterfly, and that one,
I love that.
We actually found a caterpillar walking our dog, and I took it home, put it in a little bug container. It literally cocooned and hatched, and the day that it hatched, it was all groggy. So as it was groggy, and it just wasn't really flying yet, so I grabbed one of my buds and I just scooped it up. It just sat right on it perfectly. It was just perfect. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, sometimes it really is just luck.
It blends right in with that nice bud. It's got the red hairs on. I'm looking at the picture right now.
Yeah, no, it's so you see, and so that's how we ended up getting that one, and then the other ones, the dragonfly. We were walking our dog again. Honestly, our puppy Opie is probably responsible for all of our insect shots, because we take him for nature walks all the time. That's where we get a lot of our inspiration. We do take a lot of live nature shots as well, not in studio, but actually outside on location, and that's where, a lot of the inspiration comes from, because, cannabis is holistic and natural. So that dragonfly, I mean, we were walking, it was flying upside down on the ground, literally fluttering and flying upside down. So I grabbed it, put it in my shirt, I tucked it up and ran back to my house, and I had Rox hold the dog and got it back home. And I don't know how it happened, but it just sat there for 2 hours straight, fluttering its wings, and I was manipulating it from bud to bud, moving it into shatter. I mean, it was just like the most incredible thing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but that's how we ended up doing the shots.
To you.
And
these things are just coming to you, and they're being brought to your attention by your dog.
Yeah, well, exactly. We found a little ladybug. We did a few ladybug shots. And then the last one, which is well, that snail one actually is just a piece of shatter and one calyx.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. Like, there's a picture here of a bee. It looks like, when it's on the bud, and it's got a stinger or something into the bud, and the smoke is coming off. It's just as if it's just hammering away at it. It's just burning
Is that
it up.
a bee or is it a fly?
It's actually a bumblebee. It's
okay.
You know what? I will say that almost all the time I'm going to be using live animal, but bees are a tricky one. That was a freshly passed bumblebee that we found because it's very difficult to work with bees directly. But it is on my to-do list. But and even the mantis. I mean, we just again found that guy walking, and I actually have him in my living room still. I got him in a little terrarium, feed him crickets all the time, and he's kind of my model now.
That mantis, there's a shot here called the mantis clouds. It looks like he's just chilling out.
Oh yeah, they do chill. I mean, honestly, maybe it's just the energy you bring the bugs, but so far so good. I mean, really, a lot of the concepts that we do too in the shots. I mean, it goes into a little bit of the play on names if I can do it. But we've done some shots with Blue Dream Shatter, and you can kind of see a dream catcher in the background, and there's a lot of inspiration also behind not just the strain name, but also some of the terpene profiles if they're present, or if I have the information about the buds or the product itself. I really want to start to incorporate, like the super lemon haze shot that we have has a slice of lemon in it, and so they're like
the product to life.
Just subtle hints, and the cheese strain is sitting on top of different types of cheese. Like there's, I just love it. I honestly have a lot of fun coming up with the concepts. I love interesting names that I can play with, but truly the quality of the bud and the quality of the product is a big factor in how these images turn out. And hopefully, we're just going to continue to.
For purposes of advertising and that sort of thing, covers of magazines, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I know skilled photographers that do things like food and other such photography and set design and that sort of thing. The possibilities are very wide-ranging when you add the element of cannabis and incorporate so many other things such as you do. I mean, the descriptive properties that come with these photos and these works of art at the end in Canvas is just amazing. Adding the element of the vapor smoke is extremely soothing.
Well, that was kind of the added touch. We really tried to bring more to the shot, and since I'm trying to quit my tobacco addictions, I do have the presence of a vapor machine, and I just love blowing O's, and I can't do a lot of tricks. I mean, I'm not a superstar with that, but I think that adding that element definitely sets a different tone as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this stuff. I'm looking at your concentrates now.
Concentrates are funny, man. Like I said, when I got into this, I mean, I'll tell you, I never even heard of shatter before. And then all of a sudden, I'm taking photography for these dispensaries and working with this stuff. I mean, I have to go get a heat gun, and then I'm taking shots, and I'm hearing everyone's feedback. It's like, no, bro, you can't have it all melted. You got to have it glistening. And it's like, it was really funny, like having to learn and adapt to how people really like the photography done. And it's like I said, I've really tried a lot of different styles. And what's really funny though, and it really just seems like people just love what we do, and I think it's because it's new. I don't really know of, like I said, when we go into dispensaries, there was nothing like this out there, and nobody's really capturing this because it's been an illicit plant for so long. I don't think photographers have had that capability with a lot of openness.
It's truly beautiful. to look at.
Yeah.
You can hang this proudly on a wall in your home or in an office space, and it would catch people's eye. And I don't necessarily think the first thing they're going to think is cannabis either.
Well, that's the point, right? Like that's what we're trying to do, is really break into the mainstream. Like we really do want this to be accepted, as a plant, and as a beautiful plant at that. Yeah, and it's all going to take one step at a time. I really am. That's why we're trying to go for a really non-illicit product and feel where people can be proud, because I'll tell you, out of all those dispensary raids, they never took our canvas off the wall. It is the one thing that the police never touched. So
that's it. Well, to the untrained eye, or to somebody that, if you're not looking for it, if you didn't know that's exactly what you were selling to begin with, if you just looked at it in a doctor's office, I think cannabis would be your second or even possibly your third thought upon looking at these pieces.
Well, I'll tell you, if I was a patient at a regular family physician's office, and then he showed me a booklet of pharmaceutical pills or pictures of these plants and asked me to choose which would be my option, I mean, I think the choice is pretty clear.
Yeah. For most of us, it is. Yes.
I'm sitting here looking at one of the pictures called Crystal Cheddar, and it's shatter that is on its edge into some crystals. And you could look at that in several ways. You could look at that as being an old piece of metal that has holes in it that's really rustic, or you could look at that as even Jason the 13th mask.
Yeah. It's all an interpretation, right? I mean, it's not bang on a marijuana leaf, and cannabis is not your very first instinctual thought when you look at these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's been the funny part about doing a lot of the non-cannabis centric art shows, is we actually did a series, if you see the ones with the coconuts in them, we actually got invited to do a show, or at least be vendors and show our stuff at the Coconut Festival, which was in Toronto in the summer. And that was a festival that was raising money towards an orphanage in the Philippines. But because we got invited there, it really felt special, and we did all these coconuts themed shots. So I mean, the thing about it is that we're also kind of adapted. There's one that's really popular. That's a Zen. It's the yin yang. And
yes, I like that one.
Yeah, it seems to be a really popular one. And the thing is that we actually designed that because of the Extract Zen party that was going on that hosted Raekwon. That was like, I can't even remember, I think February or March of last year. Or this year, sorry, right before Project Claudia. So we actually, a lot of these things were kind of inspired through events that we got invited to, or that's the other concept, is that we were doing shots for Diamond, and that's where a lot of the crystals kind of came into play, as really doing some work with them as well. So it kind of working with different companies and working with their products kind of also is an added inspiration behind how we set the scenes. So yeah, I mean,
amazing. Just it's amazing. You're on my list of things to purchase in the very near future to add to my collection, because I just love your work.
Well, thank you.
It's off the hook.
Thank you.
It's off the hook for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, Kim and I believe you said you got some training in school and stuff in photography. I used to, I took a lot of pictures. I got a digital camera here. And
I suck at photography. I suck. I mean, I completely suck. I took it in school, but I took it because it was an easy course and we learned how to develop film in a dark room. I mean, I was 16 years old. It was 1970 something or other.
Okay. All right. Well, you can always, I took typing in grade 9, and I still, I benefit from that experience. I didn't do very well.
I was going to say typing was my worst grade in high school. Actually, I think I got a 67 in that class in grade 9.
Oh, well, you did better than me. You did about 50% better than I got. Back to your pictures again. Not high school.
Yeah.
Do you find that each of the pictures that you and your partner create together tell a story?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as I was saying, a lot of the play that we do on some of the strains are highlighting, either the genetics behind it, or the breeder, or stuff like that. Really go into some of telling the story about the cannabis itself. But I'll tell you, the end of the day, really, the only story that we're trying to tell is a story of having this plant accepted a lot more readily as a much better medicine. So really, I mean, what it means is a product that's actually helped save my life. Okay. So it's to me, I just have fun with it. It's a whole new industry. I mean, look at I'm doing something with the woman I love, and we're creating this artwork, and all of a sudden, we really feel accepted in this community, and I feel that with every day, and the more and more that we get our artwork out there and we hear this positive feedback, it just kind of drives us more and more to be more and more creative and learn new techniques and invest in bigger and better lenses, and really take it to the next level.
Absolutely. And speaking of taking it to the next level, you were talking about being invited to the art show with coconuts and stuff like that. You were also invited to something else that's pretty major, happens to be taking place in our another country down in south there of the border in the United States of America, but nonetheless a major initiative that you have been invited to participate in. Very exciting news for you. Why don't you tell us some more about this new Remembrance Day initiative that's going on?
Yeah, no, thank you. It actually is a super exciting time, because what we're doing is, oddly enough, I mean, I got in contact with a gentleman by the name of Greg Welsh, and he works with BioTrack THC. He just followed me on LinkedIn and just commented about how good, he found the photography to be and unique it was in the industry, and called me up and gave me my own little interview and just tried to learn a little bit more about who we were as an organization. But throughout the talk, I mean, I was kind of stressing my personal opinion and what this plant has done for me to help get off of the Ciprolex and help me with the PTSD. And right from that conversation, he just blew up with ideas and immediately told me he's going to reach out to some people and he's got some ideas. And what it is he actually helped organize and connect us with 4 different organizations in the States that are for cannabis for veterans. And having this be November, and November 11th in America is actually Veterans Day. Oddly enough, I actually didn't know this. There is a difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. What we celebrate here in Canada, which is Remembrance Day and the poppy, actually is what they do as Memorial Day. I believe it's in the end of May. In the States, and so I've learned a lot about this. And so what's really interesting about Veterans Day in America is it's a celebration of their service, right? So something that really strikes home for me is the amount of suffering. I'll tell you a tragic fact right now is that American soldiers that suffer from PTSD are committing suicide right now at 22 a day. Yeah,
that's the number that they're quoted right now. 22 soldiers per day. More than is killed in Iraq.
Absolutely. That is heartbreaking. I mean, the amount of times that I can see our professional sports organizations propping up their love for veterans, the amount of ways that they're used in political ploys and how they're being supported. But let me tell you that the VA does not accept cannabis as an accepted medical use, and their families are getting ripped apart. The U.S. has a lot of issues to work out, and us as Canadians, I feel very privileged that we're not in that same situation. They still schedule cannabis as a Schedule I drug, right beside heroin and LSD. So, explain to me, like, I mean, and even beyond that, I mean, as a cannabis patient, I'm not sure if people are aware of the Immigration and Nationality Act, but if you look it up, and I believe it's Section 212A. I got told that I'm, as a cannabis patient, technically inadmissible into their country. Because
of our laws. Yeah. Well, so you've gotten together an initiative, and you're going to be donating.
We're going to be donating
some sales.
Absolutely. Actually, yeah. So getting back to the project, we are going to be aligning with 4 organizations: Weed for Warriors Project, Operation Green Zone, Vitality Corps, and the Eat and After Service. What we're going to be offering is one of our exclusive 12 by 12 canvases that we did a special shot to commemorate and honor the veterans in America. We're going to be offering a canvas. We're going to be doing a calendar, a Cannabis 2017 calendar, and offering 10 holiday cards for $75 USD. But what we're going to be doing is actually donating 22% of all of our sales towards all of these organizations. Now, you can either choose which one to donate to, or you can choose the box to donate equally amongst all of them. And we're going to be doing that for $75 up until November 11th. And after that point, we're going to be bringing it up to $90, but we're still donating the full 22%. But we are going to do kind of a pre-sale right now up until November 11th. And as I said, our goal is to be raising this money and contribute to our friends in the South, because they really need our help.
Awesome. So 22% of the sales are going to go to groups such as Cannabis for Veterans, different various Cannabis for Veterans groups. And your sales of the calendars, 12 by 12s, and Christmas holiday cards.
Yeah.
And they're all going to be prints of some of your work.
Yeah, we're going to be doing this as a limited time. 1,000 copies of this package are going to be available. So we were hoping that through our alliances south of the border that we're going to be able to achieve our goals. But also, before I am a Canadian, and obviously I have to sit here and absolutely respect and recognize our service members here in Canada. I really truly hope that maybe this message will get out, and I am looking for a Canadian Cannabis Veterans Association that I can also create a package specifically for us up here. Like I said, this is something that really, really means a lot to us, and I do want to pay tribute to the people that keep us safe.
Absolutely. It's fantastic that the American Veterans Associations and the Cannabis Associations there have contacted you. Hopefully some of our veterans groups here, which there are many, will also hear this broadcast or hear of it and do the same. And we could have a wonderful initiative for Canada. I know I personally have had the very great privilege of viewing some of the shots, the preliminary shots that you have taken for this initiative with the American flag and the beautiful flower and just everything around it. I've seen 4 of your shots that you was sent me, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, and actually we just launched our page to actually to show everyone. We have a sample of a lot of these images already up to see. You'll be able to find you can find it right from our website. It's at www.ChronicCanvas.ca /supporting veterans.
Awesome. So the site is up. We were talking earlier, and I wasn't sure if you managed to get it up and running before the show or not. So I'm glad to hear that it is. Hooray. I'm glad people can go and look. Thank
you. No, it really has meant a lot.
The shots are great.
Thank you. It really was a privilege to get reached out to by Greg at BioTrack and for him to connect us to these organizations. I mean, I just really think that it's for a good cause, and we're really looking forward to spreading the word and, again, pressing the conversation forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. So have you got more stuff lined up? What's next for you? Have you got stuff in the works? What's in the pipe? Or are you still trying to sort it all out, what you've got on the fire right now?
Well, it's a nonstop list, and I think every day it continues to grow. I mean, really our efforts right now are really trying to update a lot of our catalogs on our website. Our shop is ready. We've already actually had a couple of purchases online, which has been exciting. So we're just trying to streamline, get our website up and running. There are some conferences I do believe coming up in 2017. We're already looking into being a part of. We are. our biggest goal right now is to actually reach out and find some dispensaries, find vape shops that really are looking to partner with us and get our artwork up on their walls, offer it to their customers. I mean, it's going to be a lot of ground in the pavement right now, and getting our name out and just really showing people what it is that we can do, and decorating people's spaces with our stuff.
Absolutely. So you're looking for some full-time partnerships as well. Anybody that like to climb on board and partner with you or sponsor you. You do have your sponsorships with.
Yeah, we do have a partnership program available. So yeah, what we're really looking to do is, as I said, if there's vape shops or dispensaries that are looking to resell our artwork, I mean, we have a partnership program available where they can register on our website, and what it's going to do is it's going to give them access to our wholesale pricing of our product. They're going to get a catalog of all of our prints. So basically, any one of their customers that wants to come into their location and order one of their prints, we'll deliver it to them. The customer won't have to pay tax and shipping. So we're going to be able to get that store some more flow of traffic, and also they'll be able to reap the benefits of their commission breakdown. So, I mean, there's a lot of hopefully win-win situations that we can drive more traffic into places. But like I said, at the end of the day, also make places look awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a win-win situation for anything from a vapor lounge, a head shop, whatever, because it helps decorate their business, and in the same opportunity, they can help
even
pay their bills with it.
Yeah,
even some of the
clinics.
You know what? Actually, I do believe Dr. Norris already has one of our prints up at his office at Green Dot Med. And yeah, you know what? Any doctor that supports cannabis, really, truly any industry, anyone that's ready to step up and not hide in the shadows about being proud of their cannabis use, or at least supporting us in this industry that are in this struggle. I mean, there's a lot of things that people can do, and they can just, whether it's decorating their home or their offices, but I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Well, I think you can expect an order on your online website coming very shortly from NoSir.org, because I would be honored to have one of your pieces hanging in our office.
You know what? I think you're going to have some stuff on the way just for having me on the show. So you just hang in there, okay?
So what's... Okay, we've talked about your props and everything like that. Now, for people's homes and offices, it maybe might give an idea of what's available size-wise.
Yeah. We actually offer a number of different products now that are, because initially all we were offering was our canvases. We do have our canvases a number of sizes, 12 by 12s. Those are going to be selling for $70. And then the 16 by 24s we have available. We have 30 by 40s. Those are going to be rectangular sizes. But in our squares, we have 12 by 12, 16 by 16, and 24 by 24. Truly, if anyone wanted any size, we could do it. It's just that, I don't want to overcomplicate our store and just give people some basic options. But on top of that, if people are looking for something to express their appreciation of the cannabis plant and not, have a piece of wall art, for example, we now have our mug line available. We also have, so we got some little nug mugs that we got available, and we have a poster. We have a poster line. So the poster line is only $25. It's going to be a much easier way for, whether it's a student or somebody that just doesn't want to have a piece of art necessarily on their wall, but just have a poster. There's those available. And currently we're in the process of working on kind of some live plant castings using polyester resin. It's a work in progress. I don't want to plug it too much, but it's definitely, like I said, we want to offer a lot of different ways for people to express themselves, and also not to mention our calendars. We have 2 calendars available as well for 2017. So sweet little holiday presents coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And a calendar is such a perfect way to get a taste, at least, of all of your pieces with so many various pictures.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to having it out there. Like I said, it's we recognize that there's a lot of different ways that people want to express themselves, so we're open to expanding. I think we do have pillows available as well. We're gonna,
pillows?
Yeah, there's that.
You got these photos on pillows too. You guys do drapes?
Honestly, if you can print it, we can make it.
Really? Because like I'm a member at Freedom Fields Naturist Ranch, and they've got a cannabis cabin, and I've been decorating the inside of the cabin. So this would be great, you know, to get some drapes and maybe even a photo put in it, poster to put in there.
Wouldn't that be nice in the cabin? Oh, it would. Especially one of the nature ones, one of the bug ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one of the dragonflies, because that's their logo. They have dragonflies in their logo.
Oh, so, perfect, Al.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, good. I gotta make a note of that.
Yeah.
You guys are too much.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know, it's just us.
Yeah, that's us. Welcome to the Page Radio Show.
Yeah. All right. What are we? Maybe, I don't know. We still got more to touch on. Is there something? Yeah. Is there some things that maybe we haven't mentioned that you'd like to bring up?
You know, honestly, it's maybe there's a topic you guys would like to discuss. I mean, for me, it's just been a pleasure to be a part of the show. I mean, you know what? I could go on about pretty much anything in this industry. It's been a pleasure just to get on here and tell people about our message. I got to share the story of our roots and where we came from, and like I said, it's really been a long work in progress. But you know, I guess the one last message and the last conversation that I'd like to have is really what this meant to me to battle the issues that I battled with, because I want to reach out to people that are suffering. You know, like the amount of people that are on these antidepressants and the amount of overprescription being done by our medical doctors is something that it's enraging. I have to sit here, and I know we all sit here and listen to the heroin epidemics that are happening all over the world, or all over North America, especially.
Opiates.
Yes, but when you understand the root, where are people getting their addictions from? And it's coming from the prescriptions. Then those doctors cut off the prescriptions, and the prescriptions are also more expensive than the street drugs. I mean, it's a shame on what's going on out here, and I just think that you know, there's a lot of pain out there, and I think that cannabis is a plant that, if people educate themselves and have faith to use it and to not be scared or feel the stigma or still clench onto those archaic belief systems, that maybe I can reach one person that will give it a shot, you know, or that is suffering from you know, terminal cancers and things like that, and people are going through chemotherapy and radiation and subjecting themselves to butchery, and the medicine's out there, you know, and I think really that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, and that's what our message is truly about. You know, it's I could sit here and talk a lot about, you know, the positivity and all these things that it's done for me, but right now I just want to wake people up. You know, I want to be a positive voice in this movement. You know, I'm new in this industry. A lot of people don't know who I am, so I want people to know that I'm here to fight for them, and you know, I stand behind all of our friends and family in this cannabis fight, and you know, I'm not going anywhere.
And it's so wonderful that you found a way to extend that reach into the non-cannabis community.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I just want to, before I forget something here. You're talking about this and the benefits and the pharmaceutical drugs and stuff. Have you looked at the possibility of using patients and, you know, that type of theme with pharmaceutical and everything, patient suffering, and then getting cannabis involved in the photo? So it's
I mean, that's a dream. Obviously, I mean that to me would be the end game, especially, you know, I already have the visions of the shots that I'd like to do. I mean, especially anyone that is open and would be wanting to be a part of our shots. I mean, elderly, young, old, really anyone that wants to be a part of this, because I think everyone's face and everyone's story is unique and different. And like I said, that the possibilities of this photography are endless right now. So what a great idea to actually include some models and get some people involved. So absolutely check us out just reach out to me and I'll jump on it.
Wow. So there you go, branching out all over the place, incorporating not only insects and nature, but also people in the future.
Yeah, like your
that's exactly
hashtag.
it. Honestly, it's about the entire industry. That is the one thing I was. It's kind of the future. Is that that's the other thing is that right now this stuff is this on the canvas. It's not on hemp canvas, and that's going to be that's where it's got to be. I am looking for another person as well. So you never know. I'm just going to get all my needs out there because I am looking for partners and people that can actually make our artwork onto hemp canvas. I don't want to be using lumber. I'd love to be using pressed hemp instead of lumber, just because the industry of hemp is far superior to also what's going on in the deforestations that's going on.
And it would encompass the entire piece.
Absolutely, and I'll just fully admit we're just too small right now. I'm trying. We've got our imagery out there, and that's our vision for the future. Though it's about giving back. It's about really making sure that we partner with people that are really about cannabis education and pushing this conversation forward, and making sure that our products are environmentally conscious. I think that every company should invest more into those things if they want to have a future.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, the things that you're doing already are just fantastic. You definitely have an eye to set these things up. I've got to say that.
Well,
yeah, it's they're awesome. So that's what I'd say. Dry flowers, concentrates, sizes, and pricing. You've got it all right here on the website, eh?
Yeah, we're constantly updating.
You got a catalog? I see you got a catalog here as well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be updating our catalog as we continue to make more shots. So, but yeah, you can access our catalog, so you can kind of quickly flip through a lot of the pieces that we already offer. But yeah, I mean, we're under constant construction because I'm pretty sure it's safe to say we probably have over 100 more images that we could be loading in. It's just a matter of time of getting them all programmed and set right in the store. So yeah, we are working around the clock on this. And like I said, really proud about this initiative coming up in November for the veterans, and a lot of positive stuff coming.
And the photographer, the actual photographer, is your girlfriend. What was her name?
Yeah, Roxana Gonzalez. Yeah, Roxana
Gonzalez. What a great shots, Roxana. Hats off. Wonderful work.
She is. Without her, I mean, honestly, she's the inspiration, and she's also the work behind the creation of our website. She does the photography work. She does the design. I mean, honestly, sometimes I really wonder what my contribution is, other than being a talker. But you know what? I know that we wouldn't be able to do this without each other. So
that's right.
And it's been an awesome journey so far, and it really feels like we're on the brink of breaking out.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
Where are you next?
Where are we next? Right now, we are really focusing on this project for the veterans. So I think right now I am going to be looking also for a Canadian partnership in that, because I really do want to push these images out, and I want to be able to give back there, because this is a really important month for that. And then beyond there, I believe that we're going to be making our Christmas packs available, or holiday packs, not to take religious sides on anything. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have all sorts of different neat little incentives and bonuses and packages available. But yeah, I mean, right now we're really open. I'm looking for partnerships. I'm looking for reasons. I'm going to be just hitting the streets. Honestly, if you own a dispensary or a vape shop, expect a call or expect me to be rolling in one of these days. And especially in the GTA, that's probably going to be my first stop.
I see here you had the Cannabis Culture location on Queen Street listed on their website. Now they're on Church Street there, right? Or is that
yeah, they have multiple locations actually.
Right. So your artwork is available there as well?
Yeah, we have a couple of pieces there, and also just the people that work there. I mean, absolutely, be able to get in touch with us through there. And if you'd like to order any pieces and pick them up at the Cannabis Culture locations, I can't speak on their behalf because I don't know if they'd be okay with it. But you know what, we do have a couple of pieces up thanks to Aaron Goodwin. We kind of connected with her, and she was gracious enough to give us a couple of spaces on her wall there. And yeah, we like I said, we've had them at a couple of other dispensaries. But if you want to see a good collection, you're ever in Windsor, we have a ton sitting at Higher Limits that are right downtown on Alette Street, downtown Windsor, at Higher Limits.
Higher Limits Lounge in Windsor. Catch his work there, or you can also check it out online. You're once you see it, you're going to want to buy one. So get your card ready.
Phenomenal. Yes, for sure. Alrighty, well, we're down to about the last 5 minutes here, so maybe we should ask you shout out time. If you've got your website, whomever, whatever, you got people you want to thank, this is the time.
All right. Well, I guess just taking it from the top, I mean, I'd really have to thank some people that helped me get in this industry. I think that, again, I've mentioned these people previously, but big shout out to Rohan and my buddy John Lickey, that's the owner at Higher Limits Cannabis Lounge in Windsor. My good friend Cheech, that is at the Urban Greenhouse here in Windsor. He's a great guy. If anyone's ever looking for their hydroponic needs, make sure to go there. Special thank you to Greg Welsh at BioTrack THC for giving me the opportunity to connect with all these great organizations that we're doing this for. And again, we're going to be partnering with this initiative with Weed for Warriors Project, Operation Green Zone, Vitality Group, and Eden After Service. And yeah, you're going to be able, if anyone wants to follow us, I mean, obviously we're going to be, we're on all the social media channels. So we're on Instagram at Chronic_Canvas. We're on Twitter at Chronic Canvas, no underscore. We have a LinkedIn page. We have a Facebook page. I believe our Facebook shop is also working. And am I missing anything else? And our website, obviously, is www.ChronicCanvas.ca. And if you'd like to be a part of the Veterans Package or show your support for that, it's just going to be www.ChronicCanvas.ca/supporting veterans.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kim?
Yes, I have a shout out tonight for somebody. Actually, it's going to be tie into your USA initiative. Mine is for a USA company. Mine is for a company called the Maui Wowie brand. I mentioned these guys in a show a while back.
Yeah,
they have rolling papers made out of hemp. The glue is all natural. They're looking for a Canadian sponsorship. They've been back in touch with me. Fabulous company, fabulous rolling papers. They want to do a partnership with a Canadian company, and they're looking for somebody to partner with them to do something called Doobies Across Canada. And they are willing to supply the doob tubes, the rolling papers, if somebody would like to supply the product to go with it. Contact Maui Wowie brand at gmail.com and talk to Christopher Pekovar.
All righty. Okay. Just a reminder to everybody know that I'll be back next week. Allison Mernon will be your joint host, and she has a guest already lined up, and it's a patient, and she'll be telling everybody her story. So it'll be interesting to see what she has to say. And I'll let everybody know that you can find Pace on Twitter at Pace Radio. And you can also like us on Facebook. You can find us on the web at pace-online.ca. And thank yous, as always, go out to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics. You can catch Ross, one of the owners of BMA, every Friday night on the 420 radio show. He's one of the hosts there, along with Al and Lori and Marcel and Chris, and I don't think I missed anybody. And maybe a few others, I'm not sure. And you can also, I also like to thank CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler, and also our producer Al Rapp, the man behind the baggie here at Lifestyle Radio. And thank you to you, Shawn Drew of Chronic Canvas, for coming on, sharing your story, your personal story, as well as your business end of it as well. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. And to you, Kim, thank you as always for being involved in the show and being my joint host. And always to our listeners, And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into the program. Thank you. And good night.
Good night.
And good night.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.